right, welcome to a very special 2 p.m. Haute resident session. We're talking about the rebirth of North Beach today. We have three very distinctive panelists that we are so thrilled to have joining us. Beginning with Tom Mooney, Director of the Planning Department of the City of Miami Beach. Welcome, Tom. Matt Berry, Managing Director at Optimum Asset Management Group, USA. And last but not least, Edgardo Defortuna, President and CEO of Fortune International Group. As we're waiting for all of our guests to join us, I'd like to begin with you, Edgardo. What's the most positive takeaway that you've taken from this quarantine and the pandemic?
I guess a couple. First of all, I realized that I can do a lot more sitting at home than I thought I could. Really, Zoom and the efficiency of doing presentations virtually and meeting with a number of people without moving yourself from home, it's really been eye-opener. But also from a family perspective, I had, of course, my three children doing remote schooling for a while and having lunch with them every day and having dinner with them every day, and really has in some cases it might work against the family, but in our case it really was very, very positive, and we bonded a lot more to each other.
Thank you, Edgardo. Over to you, Tom.
Like Edgardo, I also had a very positive experience with regard to remote meetings. I had no idea with current technology how successful it could be, and we actually, in some ways, our department became more efficient. The other positive takeaway is, while we certainly have our challenges with regard to unemployment and the economy and tourism, one of the things that we did see on Miami Beach was that there did not seem to be a slowdown in development activity and proposals for development. Our land use board agendas are still jam-packed, and people are still anxious to get building permits. So I think that from a development standpoint, that actually was a very good sign.
Thank you, Tom. Over to you, Matthew.
Well, I had a very similar experience with, the remote and the technology and the interaction, but I have to tell you, I didn't realize how much I missed meeting in person. A lot of real estate is about touring the site. A lot of real estate is understanding the location. I travel a lot in normal times. I have a lot of family that's remote, and I took for granted the ability to hop on a plane and go see them in person. And I miss that, and I'm looking forward to getting back to seeing everybody in person, seeing all of you again in person. It's been a long time.
Well, thank you so much to each one of you for being here with us today. Tom, we're going to go ahead and begin with you and introducing you completely. Tom Mooney has served as the Director of the Planning Department in the City of Miami Beach since 2014. With extensive experience in the public sector, Tom first joined the City of North Miami Beach in 1989 as a management intern. He rose through multiple ranks over the years, where he oversaw the design review, historic preservation, planning and zoning functions of the Planning Department until being appointed Director of the Planning Department, the position that he holds today. Welcome, Tom. Thank you so much for being with us.
All right. Thank you for that introduction, April. And welcome to everybody joining us virtually. I'm going to talk about some of the efforts of the City of Miami Beach with regard to the North Beach Town Center. And the first slide that you're looking at is a zoning map. And I would call your attention to the right side of the map.
Actually, Tom, if you can just hold 1 second, I'd like to introduce Matthew and Edgardo, and then I'm turning it over to you to begin.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No worries. Matthew Berry, thrilled to have you with us as well, the Managing Director of Optimum Asset Management USA. He is directly involved in the development management of Optimum's US portfolio, where he brings over 25 years of experience in developing large-scale commercial, office, hotel, and residential projects from concept through stabilization. Welcome, Matthew. Next, we have Edgardo Defortuna, President, CEO, and founder of Fortune International Group, a Miami-based full-service real estate firm recognized throughout South Florida, Latin America, and Europe as a leader in high-end luxury real estate. Edgardo brings over 30 years of experience in the real estate industry and is considered a visionary and a driving force in South Florida real estate. Thank you, Edgardo, for being with us as well.
Thank you for having us, April.
Thank you. Tom, over to you.
Okay. Thank you again. As I was mentioning before, the map in front of you is a zoning map for the city. And the area in particular that I'm going to be speaking about is toward the right and toward the middle. And it's an area that's in very dark red. It has the acronym TCC, which stands for Town Center Core. Now, I should probably point out as a precursor to this that the development of this area in terms of the new development regulations first began in late 2015 when the city retained Dover Cole & Associates to put together a comprehensive plan and vision for the North Beach area. And they looked at the larger North Beach area. They looked at a number of different facets and came up with a very, very comprehensive set of recommendations that form the basis of the Plan No B. And you can get that online. It's available, it's accessible from the city's website. One of their recommendations was to create a downtown area, a town center area within the area that is now known as the TCC area. And it's a very defined area that goes roughly from 69th Street to 72nd Street and is bounded on the east and west by Indian Creek Drive and by Collins Avenue. And this particular area used to consist of a multitude of different zoning districts that varied in intensity and varied in height and varied in density. And the key here was to develop a more consistent and holistic set of development regulations that strove to create a true walkable, more of a 24-hour town center area. And the goals of the area were to not just spurn development, but also spurn the right type of development. You'll notice that the area itself is kind of a crossroads and serves as a connector point between the north side of Miami Beach and the areas outside of Miami Beach to the north that include Surfside and Bow Harbor and Bay Harbor Isles and Sunny Isles. And it's also an area that is used by people for cut-through purposes. But one of the things that we've noticed over the years is that people were driving through, but they were not driving to. And so part of the emphasis of this town center area was to get people not just to stay, but to be. And you'll also notice that to the north is a public park that is part of a geo bond initiative that will be moving forward in the coming years. There's also a direct connection to the Ocean Terrace area, which also is going to be experiencing a rebirth with a pretty significant development project there. But the TCC area, one of the major recommendations of Dover Cole was to intensify the area from an increase in floor area ratio. And as some of you may or may not be aware, in Miami Beach, anytime there is an increase in floor area ratio, voter approval is required. And so in late 2017, a ballot initiative was started and placed on the ballot to increase the entire area to a 3.5 FAR, which is a fairly significant increase in floor area. But through a campaign of multiple stakeholders, we were able to secure approval from the voters for that FAR increase. And since that charter provision has been in place since 2001, this is the first time the voters have approved an FAR increase. After the FAR increase was approved by voters, the city set about to create an underlying set of development regulations that would apply to the whole area. And that's how the TCC district was formed. These development regulations took close to a year to put together and adopt by the commission. But what they do is they set forth a cohesive set of regulations that provide for and promote a better mix of uses. And so we not only have residential, but we have an allowance for co-living, hotel, commercial development, and also different types of up and coming retail and commercial uses such as artisanal retail. And the goal of this comprehensive modification of the zoning regulations was to create a more walkable 24-hour type of downtown where people would live, where people would work. And we believe it presents itself in a unique opportunity because of its access to the beach, because of its proximity to other government buildings, parks, recreation facilities. And as I'll show you later on in the presentation, these particular development regulations also require certain amenities within development projects in order to promote walking viability at the first level, while allowing for larger development that will, what we hope, keep people out of their car and put them on the street. Another major facet of the Dover Cole plan, in addition to recommending for a town center area, was to further and create more local historic districts in the North Beach area. And so the Dover Cole master plan had recommended that areas that were previously just National Register areas become local historic districts. And so the map that you see now is our latest map of local historic districts in the city. And if you call your attention to the areas that are in dark blue and dark green, those are local historic districts. And then the areas surrounded by the blue and by the green, those are conservation districts. And the reason that these significant areas were created were to, one, promote a more cohesive, low-scale type of development, which would basically offset the greater intensity that is proposed within the town center area. These areas also have our best concentration of historic Miami modern or Miami modern architecture. And so the belief was that those areas could help contribute to the overall brand by promoting the retention and conservation of those areas. The area that you're looking at now in this map is a more defined boundary of the town center area. And so the black line denotes the entire town center core zoning district where the new development regulations are in place. And over the last year, to everybody's delight, we've seen a number of different projects be submitted for development approval that take into account the vision that's been set forth under the TCC regulations. Specifically, if you look at the projects that are surrounded in green, those have already been approved by the city's design review board. The areas in yellow are pending approval from the city's design review board. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, the DRB meetings over the last 3 months have had to be postponed, but it looks like we're finally going to be back on track in July, and the ones in yellow are ready to move forward once they get their design review board approval. And these are important to point out because we believe that once these particular projects all obtain development approval and begin to come in for building permit and construction starts, it will spur significant interest in potentially aggregating other areas that are now underdeveloped within this TCC district. And so these particular projects do promote, we believe, the type of regulations that we think will contribute to a 24-hour downtown. And these would include things like co-living. These would include things like grade level surface retail, activations along all levels of a building, as well as activation of all streets. It's important to point out that the east-west streets in this area, that would be 69th Street, 71st Street, which is in the center, and 72nd Street, while important east-west connectors, the north-south connectors are also equally as important. And so a lot of emphasis has been placed upon activating those particular streets as well. We can go to the next slide, which is one of the projects that is pending before the city's design review board, and this is 7140 Abbott Avenue. And this particular project is a combination of co-living, regular residential apartment, and a very significant amount of retail, which is along the entire perimeter. And as you can see, it's a much taller building. And most of the buildings we anticipate in this area will be taller. But also collectively, once these buildings begin to be developed, it will create more of a cohesive downtown. And so modern architecture is a strong suit within Miami Beach and the North Beach area. And this is the type of project that reflects that. The next series of slides that we have is for, and this is a much broader area. This is kind of a 10,000 foot view of what these projects would look like in totality. We have a project on 71st Street that is also pending design review board approval. And it's on a slightly smaller lot, but as you'll notice, it again holds the street very well. And excuse me, the height itself will be in scale with the rest of the area because we envision larger buildings. But what's important to note is at the street level, it will continue to activate that street level on all three sides and provide for not just walkability, but needed density. And what we anticipate is that that density itself will allow for more active uses, more active recreation, and hopefully less driving and more walking. So that concludes my presentation regarding what's going on in the town center. And so I'll turn it back over to April.
Thank you so much, Tom. Matt, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom, and thank you for the overview. To introduce you to Monaco Yacht Club and Residences, we thought it'd be helpful to do a quick video so that you see the project in its totality, and then both Edgardo and I will do a little bit more detail on the inspiration and the details of our project as we hope to add another building to the plan that helps implement the City of Miami Beach's plans for this no-B district.
Video coming up.
So that is a general overview of our project. We have at Monaco Yacht Club and Residences 39 luxurious waterfront residences and our own private marina located on one of the last undeveloped waterfront lots in Miami Beach. We were very excited to have this opportunity and to find this parcel. We, as developers, spend a lot of time looking for the land and really think that the land forms the inspiration that came from what we saw the City of Miami Beach planning for this area, but also looking at the other developments and looking at the neighborhood. We think of buildings having amenities that the developer brings, but also the neighborhood is an amenity. We're centrally located between the MIMO district and Bal Harbor, great access on and off the beach, and really the unique aspects of Miami Beach where you can have both that access to the ocean, but access to great amenities. So we have the ability to come to our property by land or by sea. You can walk up and you can utilize the balance of the amenities in the neighborhood. What the City of Miami Beach has is available just north on the top left-hand side of your screen is great green space, a band shell, a tennis court and swimming facility. And then you also have just a few blocks to the east, one of the great amenities of Miami Beach, that crystal blue water, the beach itself and the beach walk. The beach walk runs from 87th all the way to South Point Park. So depending on if you're looking for leisure or exercise, biking or walking, it's all right outside of your door, as well as if you have a boat, you have the access to the bay and great and tremendous views from our property. So one of the highlights of anywhere in Miami Beach is the views. We have every unit has the west view across the Intercoastal. We are fortunate to have a wide bay view. So it is not only unobstructed with the water, it is unobstructed because of the single family homes and the islands across from us. It's a great way to directly access from boat or just looking from your unit. Having had the privilege of my own life to live both on Miami Beach on the bay side and Miami Beach on the ocean side, my wife and I prefer the bay side. It's certainly exciting that you see a lot more activity, a lot more boating, a lot more happens during the day on the bay side. And then at night after sunset, a beautiful, Miami sunset, you get to see the city of Miami come to life. And that dynamic architecture and lighting of the city is always interesting and attractive. But beyond the bay views, we also have ocean views. We are privileged to be able to see both ways and certainly would not forsake a view of the ocean. A lot of our units are pass-through units, so the unit owners will have views in both directions. Part of what we wanted to bring forward when we looked at the property was great architecture. Edgardo will explain our selection of Arquitectonica, and we're very pleased and have great history with them. But we also wanted to bring finished units. We wanted to bring the opportunity to have units that were the floors, the kitchens, all designed. So we went out to Pierre Lissoni and asked for his inspiration, asked for him to bring a real unique European style to the development, give us that understated elegance of the French Riviera, really have a project that takes you back to the old world charm of the French Riviera, to a summer retreat, a place that you would go, very warm and inviting, but also elegant and sophisticated. And so all of our interiors are designed and inspired by Lissoni. Each of the units is finished with Aragoni wide plank wood floors, Bofi kitchens, Miele appliances, floor to ceiling glass. That was a great collaboration between Pierre and Arquitectonica to make sure that the building is not only beautiful from the outside, but is beautiful inside, and the inside really faces the world and gives you those views that are a prime part of what is best about being in Miami Beach, and certainly what makes this an exciting project for us. Very happy to introduce Edgardo Defortuna. Fortune is a big part of our team, and they've come on board and been an invaluable advisor and are our exclusive sales agent and marketing for the project.
I really appreciate your words, Matt, and really mean a lot because of the team collaboration. I mean, it's very seldom that you get to work with developers that really want to understand the market and to try to figure out what the product is the best fit for the market. We've been working in this project for over a year and a half, and the development team really listened to all the recommendations. The concept of having a very boutique building with only 39 residences in that location, it really resonates very, very well with the customer that is coming and it's attracted to Miami, especially in today's world where privacy and exclusivity play a big role. These are homes in the sky, but the beauty is that they were able to adapt them to be different sizes. We have units from 918 square feet all the way up to over 5,000 square feet. There are only, as Matt said, only 39 units, and Arquitectonica really, of course, being local, understands what the local buyer and the foreign buyer that comes to Miami it's all about, and try to convey that. But the flavor that the Optimum team and Piero Lissoni put into this becomes a very, very exclusive, very organic, a wonderful building that it's very private, that has all the amenities, really to satisfy the more discerning customer. And the fact that they all come finished with the interiors by Lissoni are really, really a significant plus for our customers. And the buyers so far really have understood that and appreciate it. They're located very, very well right on the wide part of the bay, with wonderful views to south and to downtown Miami and the skyline. So really, they embrace the views, they embrace the facilities, and on top of that, they have the ability to put 12 boat slips for up to 40 feet for the customer that really likes to have their boat right at their footsteps. So the combination of all the factors makes this a very, very attractive proposition and a great value. We have 2 exclusive penthouses with almost 3,000 square feet each, and the lounge upstairs on the top of the building has a wonderful place for all the community to enjoy, with excellent views, as you can see from the images that are being shown. Really feels you like you're at home in your residence, and the public spaces are extensions of your own home. So we feel very, very proud of being associated with this project, and really we have no doubt that it's going to be a tremendous success. So I really, the combination of having everything that's happening in that area in Miami Beach, as Tom was presenting, and the power of the developer is very strong. In addition to that, construction, it's moving forward at a very good pace. I mean, this group didn't wait for the typical 60% sales. We were very well on sales, but they just moving forward with construction. I mean, if you drive by the site, it's really a big machinery, and things are progressing. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you very much for making us a part of it.
Thank you, Edgardo. Thank you, Matthew, and thank you, Tom. Thank you to each one of you for really bringing this project to life for our viewers and for Haute Living and Haute Residents. Tom, I'd like to turn it over to you. What's your long-term vision for North Miami Beach, the development? What do you foresee?
We hope for a lot of different things. North Beach, as a lot of you might know, has never really kept pace with how South Beach has developed over the decades. And we believe that by emphasizing the brand of North Beach, that there is an opportunity for that. Through our planning efforts, through our preservation efforts, through our development regulation efforts, what we're trying to do is to create a very diverse, walkable, connected area that people will not just want to visit, but people would want to stay in. People would want to come from a tourism standpoint. People would want to work in and set up offices in. And we believe that by emphasizing the connectivity and the street grid that we have through regulations that promote a diversity of uses, that promote that type of connectivity, we hopefully will shape North Beach as that type of walkable area.
Thank you so much, Tom. Matt, over to you. What attracted Optimum Development to invest in North Beach? Does Monaco Yacht Club and Residences, do you believe that connects to North Beach, the master plan?
Absolutely. So for us, it starts with location always. Our U.S. investments are all managed out of Miami Beach. So our home office is here for those of us in the United States. And so we always want to make sure that your presence as a developer is most where you live and work. And so we're big believers in the city of Miami Beach and Miami generally. You know, to be able to purchase one of the last waterfront parcels is always an opportunity to do something special, to see what's happening in North Beach, to really understand this neighborhood. And it truly is a neighborhood. It's a place where people live, and there's been long-term businesses and investments, and to really take the time to understand the neighborhood and the future of the neighborhood, to bring a building and to bring a development that adds to the character of the area is really what we look for as a developer. And this site caught our attention, and we've been dedicated to it, and it's right here in our backyard. So we're very happy to be a part of this project and to bring it forward with our team.
Thank you, Matthew. Edgardo, in terms of lifestyle features and amenities, what are buyers currently seeking from your perspective?
Well, as I was saying before, the reality is that the buyer is looking for exclusivity and privacy. So the fact that there's only 39 units that have a lot of services of major buildings. For instance, we're going to have a voting concierge for people that are into voting. We're going to have something service on the beach less than 3 weeks, less than 3 blocks away. So people really like intimacy. They like great architecture and great service. So the combination of those factors create a wonderful lifestyle for the buyer of that. It's probably not going to be a full-time user, but it's not an investor buyer. This is people that have 3, 4, 5 houses around the world, and that they love the area of Miami Beach, and they really realize that this lifestyle is second to none. So we feel very, very strongly that people that understand this market are really going to be drawn to this project.
Thank you, Edgardo. Tom, over to you. Unlike seasonal South Beach, do you anticipate North Beach to remain a place for locals, keeping with its original design?
Yes, for sure. And one of the main reasons for that is because the areas that surround the town center area are largely residential, that are owner occupied or renter occupied year round. And we also believe that the way that North Beach is beginning to redevelop with a better mix of uses, with more diversity in uses, particularly as you see in the town center area, that in turn will result in full-time residents. It's difficult for areas to succeed with a diverse type of mix of uses when they're limited to strictly seasonal residents. So based upon the development regulations that we've seen or that we've implemented, we believe that trend will continue, and that we will see North Beach remaining as a place for locals year round.
Thank you, Tom. Matthew, over to you. I understand that it's been a very exciting week at Monaco Yacht Club and Residences. Y'all have been celebrating both the completion of your foundation pour and the opening of your new sales gallery last week. Can you tell us a little more about the construction progress to date and the timeline for completion?
Yeah, absolutely. We're very excited about the progress we've made. The fourth quarter of last year, we awarded a contract to Mosque Construction. They started immediately, and fortunately for us, have been able to build continuously since then. They've taken great precautions to make sure that was done safely, but working with the city of Miami Beach and understanding what they needed to do, they've continued on through foundations to pour the garage slab last week, which was very exciting for us. And we'll soon see that first floor for any developer. When you see that first elevated deck and you see the building going vertical, that's really when it really starts to take shape, and everyone can very much see how the architecture is going to affect the outline of the building, how the building will sit, and you really start to understand the design of the building. As well as that, we were able to open our sales gallery. The sales gallery is just a couple of blocks away on Collins Ave, 6897 Collins Ave, and with the lifting of the restrictions, we're able to get our sales gallery back open again. Edgardo's team does a wonderful job of talking with the potential residents here remotely, talking with them virtually. There's been an incredible shift to being able to present all of our materials virtually, but I believe there's nothing quite takes the place of having that finished kitchen, having the appliances, being able to see the real finishes, particularly in a building that will be fully finished. To be able to see those in person is important. And so for the potential buyers, we're able to do that virtually, and now we're able to do that in person, you know, and we're looking forward to continuing that. As Edgardo said, we're believers in the project, so we broke ground on construction the moment we could, and believe in the marketplace. And so we have full steam ahead to be able to finish this project in late third quarter of next year. Our first residences should move in.
Great. Matthew, thanks so much. Edgardo, similar to what we've seen with the revitalization of other Miami Beach neighborhoods, such as the pedestrian-friendly South of Fifth neighborhood in South Beach, how will the rezoning of North Beach impact real estate pricing?
Oh, I think it's a tremendous addition. It improves significantly the lifestyle of that area. That area, as most of us that know Miami or that have been here, has been relegated with the growth of some of the others. So to be able to have the type of facilities that Tom showed, the ones that have been approved and that are in the process of being approved, it's going to enhance the lifestyle. People like a community living today. They don't like moving around that much, and being able to walk to some of those areas in the center, it's going to be very, very attractive for them. So I think that by the time this building is completed, people are going to really enjoy all the amenities and the lifestyle that the area has. I mean, we're very close, very closely convenient located to South Beach or to Bell Harbor, but having something local and getting the local flavor and seeing the neighborhood grow, it's very positive, and it's going to increase the prices to the levels of other areas of Miami Beach, because really this is, in addition to being very attractive, this is a great value today. The people that realize that they're buying on a very, very high quality living with great finishes at values that are significantly lower than the ones in South Beach and Bell Harbor are going to quickly realize that those values are going to catch up. And I'm a firm believer that this is a great, not only from a lifestyle point of view, but from an investment point of view.
Thank you, Edgardo. Can you go back through what the price is per square foot for the residences and also for the penthouse units?
Well, we have a wonderful team of agents. I mean, Rosella Garcia and Catalina Martucci that have been, unfortunately, when we were ready to open the sales center, as Matt was saying, they couldn't really get the personal touch and the personal feeling. So we went through more of a digital presentation and a virtual presentation. But I think that more than price per square foot, it's what you get in value. I mean, getting Buffy kitchens and design units by Piero Lisoni and Arquitectónicas that are the architect and floor-to-ceiling glass. Really, it's incredible for what we're a little over $1,000 a square foot. When in Miami Beach you go from $2,000 to $4,000 a square foot, and in Bal Harbor it's $2,000 a square foot, and in Sunny Isle $1,600. So in comparative values, we're very, very attractive, and on top of that, you can have your boat right at your footsteps. So the prices are going to adjust, and I think that being the pioneers in this area for this quality building, the buyers that are going to buy here are going to really see significant increases in their prices.
Thank you so much, Edgardo. What do you all foresee as being the biggest market for the project in terms of influx of buyers?
I mean, Miami is the world is in love with Miami today. Really, we see buyers from all over the world, and unfortunately today they're not being able to travel that much. And of course, we're significantly relying on some of the Northeasterns and the U.S. buyers. But I am a firm believer that as soon as the markets open up a little bit and the people can start traveling again, we are going to see or continue to see the Latin Americans and the Europeans, because not only because of the relationships of the development group here, but also because this is very appealing to a European buyer. The design, the lifestyle, the size of the building, all of it feels like a place that should be in Europe. So I think that we're going to capture a number of Europeans in this building.
Thank you, Edgardo.
And I do agree with Edgardo, and even beyond that, as we started, I think as people who live in the Northeast or other areas and maybe have been waiting and thinking about, you know, a place in Miami and Miami Beach, now they realize I can work for long periods of time remotely and my work is more efficient. And why would I live in a certain location when, you know, the weather year round and the amenities and the lifestyle is very different? And so I think there'll be a push for people who have been waiting or maybe on the fence or even thinking about it. I think there'll be a big benefit to Miami Beach and those people coming sooner rather than later.
Sure, and the certainty of delivery is also very important. The fact that you are already under construction and you're going to deliver at the end of next year really makes those buyers really realize that, yes, I need to make a decision and I need to act now.
Thank you, Edgardo. Tom, what do you foresee for the city in terms of influx of new residents from the project?
I think that there's certainly an opportunity, particularly in North Beach, for more residential development and more people to move. And one of the reasons for that is because the North Beach area is still relatively underdeveloped. And with the new regulations that we have in place for significant areas of North Beach, there is going to be an opportunity to further enhance and replace housing. Also, I think that as our brand gets more established with regard to our historic districts, those particular older buildings will have an appeal to a certain market, much like South Beach did in the late 1980s. And so I think the combination of that is going to present a very unique dynamic, and people will be more attracted to the North Beach area.
Thank you, Tom. Matthew, from the viewers, we have some inquiries. Where can they go to download the video that you presented? It was an excellent video.
Yeah, you can go to our website. If you search Monaco Yacht Club and Residences, Miami Beach, you can click on that. We can get access directly to our sales team. I know Rosella and Catalina would love to reach out to any of the people in the audience and have a more detailed conversation with them. We're available electronically, digitally, and in person for anyone who's local.
Thank you so much. So you all are doing in-person showings, correct?
Yes, we opened the sales center June 1st, reopened. So we're back and available for in-person meetings, following all safety precautions, so making sure that everyone, you know, takes care of themselves. Limited access inside of the sales gallery, limited occupancy, but open for in-person showings. Right now, appointment only, and soon we'll hopefully be able to broaden that beyond appointment only.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Matthew and Edgardo, can you go through the best contact information for viewers to set up appointments?
Well, I think that the best way is through the website, as Matthew was saying, you know, or in our Fortune website, all the information on the sales team and the project is there too. But directly to the website of the project is the best way to contact our sales agents.
Thank you, Edgardo. I'd like to go to each one of you, starting with you, Tom. What do you foresee for the remainder of 2020, the development of North Beach?
Based upon what we've seen so far, and certainly based upon the the forward moving activity, even in the face of the lockdown that we've had and the economic strains that we've had due to the COVID-19 issue, I foresee a real push to move forward with development, not just in permitting and land use board approval, but also with regard to potentially sales of property. And as these projects move forward, what our hope is, certainly as we move into mid to late 2020, is for that to have an effect on potentially other future developments. If people that are looking at the area with an eye on investment see that the projects that I identified in my map earlier are moving forward, that they're going into permitting, then I think that that would in turn spur that. So we're fairly bullish on development and permit activity as we move into the latter part of 2020.
Thank you, Tom. Over to you, Matt.
Yeah, we're excited with development opportunities, and we've been working with other developers. You know, we invest up and down the East Coast, from Boston down here to Miami Beach, and there's a lot of activity. There's a lot of maybe call it churn of development opportunities. So we're actively investigating properties in the same general vicinity for ourselves and working with other developers. So, you know, I see Miami Beach, all of the fundamentals are still there, and all the fundamentals are very strong, and will continue to be strong for a period of time. So we're looking for more development in the near future.
Thank you. Edgardo?
Yes, I mean, I think that South Florida is very, very uniquely positioned to come out of this pandemic, really, really very, very strong. I mean, the meaning of where you live today has really took a very, very significant change, in the sense that people realize that the importance of your home and where you live, and not only in the product, but also in the area and the lifestyle. And I think that we are really very uniquely positioned in South Florida to capture that activity. I mean, people, as Matt was saying, people realize that they can do a lot of things from home, and that they can be effective for a long period of time without being in the office. So I think that this movement is going to continue. We saw it even before the COVID-19, because of lifestyle and taxes and really quality of life in general. But now I think it's even more accentuated, and South Florida is in a great position to capture the interest of the customer worldwide, basically. And so obviously it's needs to be a development that makes sense, and development that really addresses the needs of the consumer. But I believe that that South Florida is really going to continue to shine, and we're going to benefit from it.
Thank you so much, Edgardo. Matthew, over to you. We have a viewer asking if boat charters will be available from Monaco.
Yes, we have 12 boat slips. We plan to have 11 of them purchased by residences, so it'll exclusively be for residences, and we'll hold one so that we can be organizing charter trips. We can organize the ability to short-term rentals and other, you know, water activities. So there'll be a full boat concierge as a part of the amenities. So even though we have a limited number of slips, one will be preserved for all residences to have the opportunity to utilize that unique access to the bay and access to boating literally right out their back door.
Thank you, Matthew. Final remarks on the project, starting with you, Edgardo.
Well, I think that a lot has been said, but it's really a very well-designed boutique building that has all the ingredients for a wonderful lifestyle, and located in an area where the value is really very, very attractive, because it's up and coming, and it's really going to satisfy the customer's needs. And so I am a firm believer that this is going to be a great success.
Thank you. Edgardo, over to you, Matthew.
We really enjoy development, and this project allows us the opportunity to really express that at the highest levels of quality. As developers, we're dependent on the city that we work with and the team that we assemble, and we've been incredibly fortunate with the relationship with the city of Miami Beach, with Edgardo's team at Fortune and the designers. Arquitectonica has done a wonderful job designing a building. I've done a few projects with them, and they are always top quality, top design, and we've been blessed to have a great city and a great team. So we look forward to welcoming our first residences next year, and we believe people will think of this as their home for a long period of time, and it's always a special thing to deliver to people their home.
Thank you so much. Tom?
I think that the architecture itself speaks for itself. As Matt and Edgardo mentioned, Arquitectonica is one of the preeminent firms worldwide. They've done a number of forward-thinking buildings in Miami Beach since the late 1980s. And this particular building will be one of what we envision to be a host of very modern, forward-thinking architectural statements in the area. And I think also it's important to point out that this particular property has very good connectivity to other areas of North Beach that are within walking distance. And this includes the beach walk along the beach, access to 69th Street, which is the only full ocean to Bay Street in the city, as well as easy walking access to what we believe will be a significantly redeveloped town center area. So I think that all those things are definitely working in the favor of the project.
Thank you so much. Thank you to each one of you for joining us today. On behalf of Haute Living and Haute Residence, we're so thrilled for your partnership, and also looking forward to the future and all that each one of you are contributing.